Let's be real, we're all kind of drowning in information. Books, articles, videos, it's a constant stream. But how much of that stuff do we actually master? Today, we're going to dig into a tool called NotebookLM that's designed to help you go from just, consuming information to truly, deeply understanding it.
So, I want you to think about something for a second. In the last month or so, did you get through a really dense paper for work, a long article, maybe even a whole book? You probably felt pretty good about it, right? Checks it off the list.
But, and be honest with yourself here, how much of it actually stuck? If you're anything like me, probably not nearly as much as you'd like. And that's, right there, is the huge problem of information overload. It's what we're going to tackle.
Now, when you hear the word AI, your brain probably jumps to those chatbots that seem to know everything about everything on the internet. Well, NotebookLM it's just fundamentally different. It's not a know-it-all. It's a specialist, and it only knows about your stuff. The best way to think about it is like this. It's your own private AI research assistant. Its entire universe of knowledge is built only from the documents and the sources that you give it. That's it. Nothing more. Nothing less. And here's where it gets really important. A standard AI is out there scraping the entire, massive, and let's face it, sometimes unreliable public internet. NotebookLM, on the other hand, only uses your trusted stuff. This means its answers are always grounded, they're always relevant, and they're directly tied to the material that you actually care about. I love this quote from the source material because it just nails it. The universe is closed. So if you're doing deep research on, say, 18th century philosophy, you're not going to get random facts about Taylor Swift contaminating your results. The AI's knowledge is exactly what you want it to be and only what you want it to be. All right, so you're sold on the idea. How do you actually get started building this private little universe of knowledge? Well, it all begins with adding your sources. And you have a ton of flexibility here, which is great. I mean, you can upload PDFs, you can link to Google Docs, you can pull in content directly from websites, and you can even use YouTube videos or MP3 audio files. NotebookLM will literally transcribe them for you, making all of that spoken content completely searchable and ready to work with. Okay, that's all great for the digital stuff, but what about, that stack of actual books sitting on your shelf? You might think they're off limits, but there's a really straightforward way to bring them into your digital library too. You can actually use a book scanning service. It's a pretty wild process. You literally mail them your book, they create a high-quality, searchable PDF from it, and this part is super important for copyright reasons, they destroy the physical copy. What you're left with is a perfect digital version that's ready to upload. And hey, if you're a serious researcher or a student with a lot of books, investing in a personal scanner can be a total game changer. Get this, digitizing a 300-page book in about 15 minutes? That's just incredible. It lets you build a really deep, searchable library from your physical collection fast. Okay, you've built your library. You've got your sources loaded in. Now, I want you to listen up, because this next part is maybe the single most important tip in this whole explainer. This is the real secret to getting precise, genuinely useful insights from your AI assistant. So, the big question is, how do you make sure the AI gives you these sharp, accurate answers instead of just some vague, fluffy summary? Well, it turns out the power isn't just in the tool itself, but in how you use it. So here's the trap that pretty much everyone falls into at first. You get excited and you upload a massive file, an entire 400-page book or a super dense 100-page paper, and you expect surgical precision. But that approach, it usually leads to really generalized, kind of unhelpful answers. Instead, you're going to do this. It's a simple 3-step process that I call the power of focus. First, you isolate just one logical chunk, like a single chapter. Second, you use the print to PDF function on your computer to create a brand new small file of just that one section. And finally, you upload that small focused file as its own separate source in NotebookLM. And this is the secret sauce, right? This is why it's so powerful. Because when you ask a question about that one tiny source, the AI's answer is absolutely laser focused. It gives you citations that point to the exact paragraph in that specific chapter. It's not just an answer, it's an answer with a receipt, giving you incredible accuracy and confidence. And once you start doing this, once you have these small, focused little knowledge bombs, that's when the real fun starts. This is where you can use the NotebookLM Studio to turn that raw information into some truly useful creative assets. Check this out. Using just a single focused chapter, you can instantly generate all sorts of cool stuff. I mean, imagine turning a really dense chapter into a podcast-style discussion you can listen to, or a visual mind map, or even a quiz to test yourself. You're basically transforming passive text into active learning tools. And what's so great is the variety. It really caters to how you actually learn. So if you're an auditory learner, you've got the podcast. If you're a visual thinker, you've got mind maps. If you learn by doing, there's a quiz waiting for you. There's an output for every style. So let's just put all this into perspective. What's the real impact here? Well, reading alone, that gives you a baseline of understanding. Using an AI on an entire book at once, yeah, that offers some help. But applying that same AI to focused, isolated chapters, that, my friends, is the path to deep mastery. So we've seen the tool, and we've walked through the technique. Now the focus really shifts from the technology itself to you and to your own learning journey. Because at the end of the day, you gotta remember this. The AI is just a lever. It's a powerful one, no doubt, but the real magic comes from the process, from that deliberate act of breaking ideas down, questioning them, and reshaping them into new things. That's where the real learning happens. So that really only leaves one final important question, and it's for you. With a method like this, you can tackle almost anything: quantum physics, ancient history, a new professional skill, you name it. So, what complex subject are you going to master first?